Namaste, welcome to Yoga with Megan. This is a video that's going to put together a few of my favorite movements for the lower half of the body, mainly focusing on ankles, knees, and hip joints. So I have a mat handy, and if you can do it on a wood floor, all the better, because we're going to be sliding a foot. And in fact, if you have socks, put your socks on. You may want a strap for this practice as well. I'm comfortable with just a mat underneath me, but if you feel like you want more padding underneath your low back, please feel free to put a blanket or something underneath you as well, because we will be doing these practices on our backside. So you're going to come down and you just want to let your back and spine relax. So that may mean just shifting your hips side to side or drawing your legs into your body and rocking a little bit. So the key to working with the lower half of the body, your legs, mainly your leg joints, is to let the spine relax. So find that spot where you can be relaxed into your spine, and then let your feet come down to the floor. We'll be moving to the breath. So if you'd like, you can place your hands on your belly. See if you can feel yourself breathing to your belly first. And if you're breathing in and out of your mouth, try to switch your breath into your nose. And notice how your abdomen will expand on the inhale and relax back down on the exhale. And that's more or less the pattern of our movements. There's expansion and action on the inhale, and then that ease and letting go on the exhale. And then when you're ready, we're going to start with our right leg. So I'm going to draw my right leg into my body to wherever it's comfortable. My arms are quite long, so I can place my hands around the back of the thigh, but I'm going to encourage you to put a strap around your thigh if you're straining your arms in any way to hold your leg in place. So you can put that strap in, not around the knee, but right around the belly of the hamstrings. Then I'm going to lift my leg up just enough so I can see my toes. I'm not in a full extension, and I just want to begin to wiggle my toes a little bit. And sometimes we think we're moving our toes, but we're really moving the ankle. So check for a moment, look at your toes, make sure it's just your toes moving. And then you might even close your eyes and feel the muscles in the soles of the feet and the tops of the feet. Maybe you'll feel even your shins and your calves just moving your toes. And then relax your toes. You're paying attention to your breathing too, that your breathing is still smooth to the belly. And then I'm going to come into my ankle, so just some simple warm-ups for the ankle. I'm going to inhale and reach the ball of the foot towards the sky. So the top of the foot will stretch, my shin will stretch, my calf will tighten. As I exhale, I'm going to draw the top of the foot towards my shin, feel my calf stretch and my Achilles. And I'm going back and forth, just moving the ankle, inhaling and reaching through the ball of the foot, exhale, pressing through the heel, drawing the top of the foot down. Finding my full range of motion. Inhaling and exhaling. Feet and ankles are really important for the health of our body as a whole, but particularly for they set the tone for the joints in the legs, and then ultimately for comfort in our spine. And then we'll relax, and then we're going to do slow circles with the ankle going all the way around, and you can sense the arch of the foot, the ball of the foot. Yeah, just slowly making those circles through the ankle. You can switch the direction, go the other way. Notice any muscles you're feeling in your lower leg. And then relax the ankle. I'm going to continue to use my strap. You may be using your hands as well. We're going to go into the knee joint. So when we do the knee joint, if your thigh's back here, try to line your thigh up so it's 90 degrees from the spine. So in other words, the kneecap straight on the top of the front of the hip. So I'm going to bring it straight instead of back here. And then this one on the inhalation, and I'm going to expand or stretch. I'm stretching out through the knee. On the exhalation, I'm dropping down slowly. So finding that range of motion through the knee. And the key here again is that I want to move from my knee joint. So if I feel like I'm pushing through my heel, I'm going to relax my foot and try to initiate the movement from my knee. So think of the muscles in your thigh lifting and extending your knee, and then slowly coming into flexion. Just giving it a little warm up. Back and forth with the breath, dropping down on exhale and extending on inhale. Let's take one more into extension. Feeling the muscles on the front and the back of the thigh. And then you might even hold that last one at your end point and slowly release. All right. And I'm going to take my foot to the floor, and I'm going to widen my feet a little bit more so that my heels are outside my hips. And then I'm going to sense just this right leg, and I'm going to fall onto the pinky toe side of the foot, so external rotation on inhale, and then I'll come back up. And then I'm going to fall into the big toe side. So I'm going side to side. And you can do this with your breath or not, but you want to go nice and slow. One of the reasons I like to use my breath is that it's like a timer. If I'm not using my breath, I tend to just go back and forth randomly, and my breath will slow things down so it's more mindful. So I'm inhaling onto the big toe, exhaling, relaxing at center, inhaling onto the little toe, exhaling to the center. One of the things that I'll see quite often when we do that, is that this hip is lifting all the way up. You can let the hip lengthen, but try not to roll all the way onto the left hip. And likewise, when we go onto the pinky toe side, keep the left side of the pelvis on the floor and the left leg still, as opposed to the whole body twisting over. So we're just focusing on the hip crease movement, back and forth. And then once we've done a couple of those with the foot on the floor, try lifting up that right leg and imagine making a circular shape from the hip. And I'm just letting my lower leg dangle and stay relaxed, not using my hands, but using the muscles to move the leg around in a circle from the hip. I can go all the way across to the center of the body, bring my thigh all the way towards my nose as far as I can go, out to the right side and then away from me. And then making that same circular motion, just go in the opposite direction. Again, check to see you're moving from your hip. If you're not, what it might look like is your leg will extend and the bottom leg is moving too. Keep that bottom leg just hanging and move from your hip crease. All right. And then we'll place that foot on the floor for a moment. If it feels better to extend your legs while we're in rest, so you could also come here, just watch it doesn't pull your low back, you can do that. We're going to take 5 breaths in stillness and just notice if you feel any difference in your 2 legs, in your hips, and your ankles. It's a very simple movement, but you may sense a difference. Just visualizing the space from your toes all the way up to your hips, right and left. See what it feels like to be in your body, in the lower half of your body. Okay. And then if your legs are extended, please place your feet on the floor again with the feet underneath, about underneath the knees, as wide as the hips. Lengthen the low back and relax the low back. We'll be doing the left leg this time, so right leg will stay on the floor. You can draw the left leg towards your body a little bit closer. And you may want to go ahead and put the strap behind there. If your arms are straining in any way, put it back there. We don't have to go into full extension. Just lift enough maybe just so you can see your toes. And then squeeze your toes and spread your toes. Squeeze and spread your toes. See if you can get all 5 toes to move. Or I'll think of my toes like piano keys and play them, move one at a time. And though it may be interesting to watch them, see if you can close your eyes and feel it. Feel all those muscles in your feet. The arch of the foot, the ball of the foot, the heel and the outer pinky toe side. Just wiggling your toes. It's especially important if we're wearing shoes all the time. Then relax your toes. We'll go into ankle flexion. So you're going to inhale. Press the ball of the foot up towards the sky. Keep the toes relaxed. Feel the top of the foot stretch in your shin and feel your calf muscle tighten. And as you exhale, draw the top of the foot towards the shin. Feel your calf stretch in your Achilles. And just going back and forth. Just the ankle. Isolate just that movement in the ankle. Notice how far you can go. So find that end range of motion. And going slowly from one to the other. Sometimes we even feel like a fatigue in the ankles. I know this one, I'm feeling it a little bit today. But keep your breath steady and smooth. A healthy, comfortable breath. And then we'll make the circles with the left ankle. Try to go all the way around. Sometimes there's places where the foot doesn't want to go and it attempts to skip out, but go really slow, like you're moving your foot through sand. Keeping the toes relaxed, but sense the arch of your foot, ball of the foot, and you can switch and go the opposite direction. And for me, I've got something going on in my left knee, so moving the ankle is the feeling that I'm feeling is not only the ankle, I'm feeling it in the knee where it's been kind of a bugger. So feeling that connection is important. We sometimes say when we have pain in the body, we need to work one joint away from that pain. And then relax the ankle completely. We'll be going into the knee joint, so you're going to drop that lower left leg down, and if you can't comfortably get your hands to the back of the thigh with the thigh bone straight up and down, so remember I don't want it towards my body now, then you're going to put a strap around the back of the thigh on the belly of the hamstrings. Just let the low leg dangle, relax the ankle and the toes, visualize your knee. As you breathe in, you'll go into extension, reaching up, so I'm trying to keep my foot relaxed. I'm lifting my lower leg from my thigh. And then as I come down slowly, releasing it down. Just feeling that hinge joint, the knee, back and forth. You may not start the first one finding that end range of motion, but work toward finding the end range of motion. Keeping foot and ankle relaxed. Initiating from the knee, inhaling up, and exhaling back down. These movements are really quite simple, and to be honest, what we're doing here, just these ankle, knee, and hip movements, I do in my bed every morning before I wake up. That simple. I'll wake up my legs first before I stand on them. Last one, you can take it into extension, maybe even hold for just a few breaths. Feel the length of the leg. You'll notice the hamstring stretching in the back of the thigh and your quadriceps slightly engaged. And then slowly let it come down. All right, I'm gonna place that foot on the floor. I'm gonna turn towards you for this next part. So I'm gonna widen so that my feet are about as wide as my hips. I'll be working with the left leg still. You can stay right where you are, but this is where we're gonna come on to the pinky toe side on inhale. So I'm gonna just let that thigh drop open. External rotation of the thigh, and then exhale back to a flat foot, then inhale onto the big toe side. Let the hip roll along with the thigh. So we're starting to get into the hip joint here, right? Exhale back, inhale onto the pinky toe side, exhale to center, inhale onto the big toe side. So starting to notice now the connection of the thigh to the hip. But you're also rolling on that foot, what we call inversion and eversion of the ankle. So you might sense your ankle moving as well, all the joints working together to make this motion. Once we've done a few of those, we'll do those circles. So you can lift the left leg up off the floor, left foot, and make slow circles from the circumference of your hip crease. So we're not kicking out that lower leg. Keep the lower leg dangling and move from your hip. Find your full range of motion going out to the side, towards the front, across, towards the right leg, and then towards your body. Slow exploration into those muscles, and then you can switch and go the opposite direction with your circles. All right, and then both feet to the floor if that's more comfortable for your low back, or take the legs long. Take 5 breaths into both legs again. I'm going to prepare my mat. You'll be doing the same in a moment. So the next movement we're going to be doing is when we're going to be sliding a foot. So what I recommend is that if you're on a mat, you fold it so that you can get the lower half of your body, so from your hips down, onto the wood. So your legs should be on the wood floor or somewhere where they can slide, especially if your mat is sticky at all. And then I'm going to come back down. All right, I'm going to leave the left leg with the knee bent just to keep my low back relaxed, and I'm going to extend just the right leg out, and if you're feeling any pulling, let that knee stay slightly bent. So the first thing we're going to do is just feel the length of the leg from the hip to the foot, and on inhalation we're going to externally rotate that thigh. So I'm going to roll my thigh bone outward towards the right side of the mat and roll my toes out. And then I'll just, excuse me, that's on inhalation, yep. And then on exhale, come back, roll it back up. So my knee and my toes are pointing up. I'm going to inhale, roll my knee and my toes towards the right side of the mat. And then exhale, lift them back up. Try to make sure this is in your window there. Sliding it or rolling it outward and then coming back. And if you don't want to do it to your breath, you can just do it back and forth a few times, in and out. I'm going to keep doing a few. I'm just going to readjust my mat because I can tell that it's going to bother me, but that the fold in the mat is right underneath my shoulders. Right. Okay, so just getting that idea of the whole leg externally rotating, the ankle, the knee, and the hip. Then we're going to add to that. So you're going to inhale, roll the thigh bone out, and then as you exhale, you're going to draw the heel up towards your buttocks. So the knee will be open to the side. Then inhale, slide it out again. Exhale, roll the toes and the kneecap up. Inhale, externally rotate the thigh. Exhale, draw the heel up towards your buttocks as far as it'll go. Inhale, slide the leg long. Exhale, relax the leg. Inhale, external rotation. Exhale, slide the heel. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax. Let's do 2 more of these. Rotate the thigh bone out. Slide the heel. Take it back out long. Relax the leg. I like to kind of jelly roll it at the end. Roll the thigh bone out. Slide the heel in towards the buttocks. So you're on the pinky toe side of the foot. Lengthen it again, and then let it relax. All right. We're going to do both movements with the right leg, and then we'll switch to the left leg. So the next movement we do, we're going to do just the opposite. Your leg, your whole thigh and your toes are going to turn inward on inhalation. So you might feel a stretch through that outer hip. You might even feel your outer hip lift. So just get that feeling of turning your toes and your thigh in on inhale, and then let it go back to its neutral space. Inhale, roll it. Exhale, let it go. Like I said, you may have a little bend in the knee if your low back is pulling, but as best you can, try not to bend the knee yet to get the leg to roll. Feel the whole leg rolling and then releasing. Now we're going to add to that one. So you're going to still inhale and rotate the thigh inward. But now as you exhale, you're going to come onto the big toe side of the foot. Drag the heel up to the outer butt cheek, wherever it wants to go. So it might be further down here, it might be out to the side. Everybody's a little different. So the thigh is falling inward and towards the left side of your mat. And then we take it out long again and let it go. So internally rotate on inhale. Slide the heel out towards that right butt cheek. Slide it leg long again and let it go. As best I can, I'm trying to keep my pelvis squared off with the floor. Sometimes I find myself going too far over to the left. So really making a movement from the hip, knee, and ankle on this right leg. Rotate in, slide it out, or towards you. Lengthen it, and let it go. Let's do 2 more. Rotate in, slide it, lengthen it long, let it go. Last one, inward rotation. Slide the heel towards your outer hip. Slide it back out long, and then let it go. We'll take those 5 breaths in between, so if it's more comfortable, both feet to the floor, feeling your legs, or if you can extend both legs and just notice again. So for me, I feel a big difference in the front of the hip crease now. My right hip crease feels sort of free and juicy. The left leg feels tight and heavy. But I'm just noticing what I feel, the difference in the 2 legs. All right, and then we'll be doing the left leg. Same thing, but I'm going to turn towards you just to give you a different angle. So turning towards you, right foot will stay on the floor. The left leg is going to go long and just shake it out a little bit. Maybe roll back and forth. Feel that internal and external rotation. Let it shake and let the bones be heavy into the floor. And then you're going to inhale and externally rotate the thigh. And exhale, let it come back to wherever it wants. Just do a few of those. Inhale, externally rotate, feel the whole leg roll outward. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll it outward, even the ankle. Exhale, release. Just feeling that external rotation. And we'll be adding on to that. So inhale and rotate out. As you exhale, draw the left heel towards your buttocks. Let that leg stay hanging out, just let it fall. Inhale, lengthen the leg. Exhale, relax it. External rotation as you breathe in. Slide the heel towards the buttocks. Lengthen the leg. Let it go. And if you don't want to do this to your breath, again, you don't have to. It's just the idea of moving slow and fluidly. You might want to even hang out when the leg is open in one space or the other. But the idea is to find the motion and the mobility through the hip, knee, and ankle. So moving slow but mindfully with your breath. We'll do 2 more. Rotate out. Slide the heel towards the buttocks. Lengthen the leg. Let it relax. Rotate out. Sliding heel towards your body. Slide the leg away from the body and let it relax. All right. I can tell I'm getting relaxed in my legs. I'm having a hard time speaking. So we're going to go the opposite way. Left leg is going to internally rotate. So just doing that a few times as you inhale, roll. So you're activating the muscles to roll the thigh in. You might even feel that outer hip now, right? And then exhale, let them go, let them release. So the idea is to engage the muscles and then release the muscles. So activity as you roll in, and then that release or ease as you let it go and exhale. Once you've found a few of those, we'll add to it. So you're going to inhale and roll the thigh in. As you exhale, slide that big toe side of your foot to the outer hip. I'm a little tighter through this side, so I'm going to move slow. Slide it back out, and then we'll let it go. Internal rotation of the thigh. Slide the heel towards the outer left buttocks. Let the thigh fall. Slide it back out. Let it go. Internal rotation. Slide the heel in. Slide the heel back out. Let it go. We'll do 2 more. Rotate the thigh in. Draw the heel towards your outer left hip. Let the thigh fall. Slide it back out. Let it go. Rotate in. Last one. Slide it to the side. Lengthen it back out and let it go. All right. So now that we've done both sides, I'm going to turn back this way again. We've done both sides. We can put that together. So you're going to take both legs long. See if they're ready to do that for you now. Relax the low back. Keep the low back long wherever you want your hands and arms. As you take a breath in, you're going to externally rotate both thighs. So roll them out, and then as you exhale, draw the heels toward your buttocks. And you don't have to touch your feet together. If they want to touch, let them, but you can keep them wider. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let go. Inhale, external rotation. Exhale, slide both heels towards your buttocks. One might be stickier than the other, that's okay. Slide them out, and let them go. Shake them out. So externally rotate, heels towards your hips. And sometimes I take that extra breath, just let them drop open, slide them out, and relax. And the other thing is you can play with the distance between your feet. So sometimes it might feel good to take the soles of feet together as you're sliding. That also will feel different than rotating out and then keeping the feet wider apart. So just getting that fluidity through your joints and your legs. Let's do 2 more. Roll outward, slide heels towards your waist. Slide heels away. Notice how your knees, ankles, and hips are working together. External rotation. Slide in. Slide out. Relax. All right. We're going to put the other one together too, so the internal rotation. And in between, if you ever need to hug your knees in, so I'm feeling a little cranky through my low back, I can feel things moving around, which is good. But I'm just going to roll my back around and then take the legs long again. So we're going to do that same movement, but we're going to alternate legs, the internal rotation. So I'm going to roll my right thigh in on inhale, slide the foot up, slide it back, let it go. So this takes a little more thought too. Internally rotate the left thigh, slide the foot out, slide it long, let it go. So you're just switching sides, rolling inward, sliding it in, maybe letting it drop, lengthening it, let it go. Left leg, internally rotating the thigh, slide in on that big toe side, let the knee drop, slide it out, let it go. We'll do one more round. You should start to feel juicy through all those joints. Rotate inward, slide the heel towards your outer hip, let that inner thigh drop, slide the leg long, let it go. Internal rotation of the left thigh, slide the heel, drop the inner thigh, feel that through your outer hip, lengthen it, let it go. Shake them both out. As you eye your legs in, we've got one more we're going to do that's going to put all of that together, but feel free to roll around a little bit. So this next one, I'm going to place my feet on the floor. Basically, when we were doing that drop in and out, it's similar to that, but taking it a little bit further. So your feet will be on the floor about as wide as your outer hips. And I'm going to work with just my right leg first. I'm going to inhale and press into the big toe side of the foot. So now we're really going to get more into the waist and the hip. I'm going to press into the foot and draw that right knee towards the front left corner of the room. So across towards that left shin and inward. So I'm pushing it in and then just releasing it. And then I'm going to fall all the way onto the big toe, or excuse me, the pinky toe, and then coming back. So same movement we did, but taking it a little bit further. Reach that thigh bone forward, tip onto the big toe side of the foot. I'll move my arm out of the way, and then come back, and then outward, and come back. Inward, reaching, and back, and outward, and coming back. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the left leg. So sensing the big toe side of the foot. So that's the thing too. You can initiate movement from your hip or from your foot. So I'm going to roll onto that big toe side or reach the thigh forward. Let my whole waist reach with the leg. So you feel a nice stretch of your side body. Come back. And then drop onto the pinky toe side or roll onto the pinky toe side. Let the hip fall open. And then coming back. Internal rotation, press the thigh slightly forward, lengthen through your femur bone, your thigh bone, come back down, and then letting the leg drop out. We'll do one more that way. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, come back. Pinky toe side of the foot, drop outward, and come back. Exact same thing we just did, but we're going to alternate sides. That's all. So right leg, and sometimes I add arms to this too. I like to get a little more stretch to my side. So as I'm reaching the right leg, I might reach my right arm overhead. That feels so good. And then come back and then drop that leg open. I'm going to try to go as far as I can now. Come back. Left side, reach the left arm overhead. Left leg comes towards the right front corner. Come back, release it all, and then letting that left leg drop open. And coming back. Sometimes I find my head wants to roll too, and I just let it roll back and forth. Right leg forward, roll onto that big toe side, reach your right arm if you'd like. So more of a full body movement, relax that. And then onto the pinky toe side. Come back from there. Left side, reach that left leg forward, reach the left arm overhead if you'd like. Roll on to the big toe side of the foot. Might even stop and hold for a moment, come back, and then dropping out. We'll do one more, and this last one I'll invite you to hold it a little longer if you'd like. Inhale onto the big toe side, roll your right thigh bone inward and forward. You can slide your right hand overhead. Breathe into that outer hip. Let the thigh be heavy. Feel the stretch through your waist. And your arm, you can see I'm not taking my arm all the way overhead. I'm just going to where I can create space through the side of my ribs and my body. And then releasing. And we'll do a small hold dropping onto the pinky toe side. Feel even how your ankle rotates, dropping outward, breathing into your inner thigh, relaxing that outer hip. Arm can be wherever you want, and we don't get as much of a side stretch with this one. Coming back up, we'll do our final one with the left leg. Take the left leg inward onto the big toe side of the foot. Reach that hip towards the front of the mat. You can take your left arm overhead if you'd like. So feeling that space. And notice I'm not dropping my right knee open too. I'm trying to keep my right knee up towards the sky. Just working through the left hip and side body. Release back to the space of grace. And then final dropping onto the pinky toe side of the left leg. Something just opened up in mine. Feels good. And for some people, the foot wants to be a little bit more narrow towards the center of the body. That's okay. Just let it drop open. Breathe into the inner thigh. Notice if you're bracing or tightening muscles anywhere, let them relax. And lifting back up. Once you're done, it might feel good to hug your knees in again. Just make some circles, relax the low back. If you have the time, I highly recommend taking Shavasana, relaxing for a moment, so you can maybe even just let your knees fall together if you like the internal rotation, if that's more comfortable for your back. If you like the external rotation, let your legs drop open for the relaxation. It's up to you. I'm actually more of a, this works for me, but as you can see, my hips are a little tighter, so if I'm doing this one, I generally would support my knees with something. So I'm going to roll my thighs in. Let yourself rest for a few breaths. Say thank you to your joints in your legs, your ankles, your knees, and your hips. Those beautiful joints that take you to all different places, everywhere you want to go. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.